Joe Volpe, publisher of Corriere Canadese, North America's only Italian-language daily newspaper, here on behalf of Go Live TV and Corriere Media Group with the comment of the day. Who said that elections don't matter? We just had one on Monday night in Quebec, and it did. In fact, here's the comment of the day. And then there were none. Now, the federal government in Ottawa has, in my mind, always been the whipping boy of Quebec politics. Sounds strange. Federalist politicians from Quebec have always seemed obsessed with the need to play to the Quebec base. No matter what. No matter the constant humbling of the Federalist agenda for nation building. There has been an incessant pressure, felt primarily by MPs elected from the Montreal area of Quebec, to do anything and everything to appease the needs of our only allies in the province. Until last Monday night's election results, that meant the Quebec Liberal Party. Not anymore. The most positive spin on the results is that many members of the now governing party are conservative federalists dressed up as La Coalition pour l'Avenir du Québec, or CAQ. Outside the island of Montreal and Laval, and perhaps the Gatineau Hall area across the Ottawa River from Parliament Hill, the political climate in Quebec breeds indépendantistes, séparatistes, souverainistes, nationalistes, and soft nationalists. Varying degrees of the Quebec First political persuasion. The Premier-elect, François Legault, has a history of changing with the times, having personally undergone the metamorphoses to the point that he has said publicly that Quebecers should concentrate on issues rather than on ideology. The standard of living, economic issues, rather than survivability as a distinct entity, cultural issues. A former premier, also formerly a federal civil servant, Jacques Parizeau, famously summed up his view of Canada with a trite statement describing his own epiphany. He said, "I went out west as a federalist and I came back as a separatist." He wanted nothing less than a country for Quebecers. Canada was too big. Perhaps therein lies the rationale for the anti-government wave that swept the province Monday night. The government was being swept, or the government being swept, by proxy, was the federal government in Ottawa, the federal Liberals. Premier Philippe Couillard, the provincial Liberal, was collateral damage. His party was reduced to an enclave of ethnic strongholds in Montreal, surrounded by ridings firmly in the grip of the pure laine, the ethnically pure francophone. In Europe, such singularity of identity is often described as a home for right-wing xenophobic militancy. It dictates the views towards demographic mobility and immigration. Language policies are often the soft expression of this discomfort with the presence of people and cultures that are often different from one's own. Are people capable of being assimilated into our culture? If not, leave them out. That's the underlying rationale of the base of their immigration policies. Legault's CAQ probably fits into the latter category. During the campaign debates, he professed a desire to test all immigrants 3 years after being landed for their competency in the French language. And if they were to fail, he proposed asking the Canadian immigration officials to remove them from Quebec. Either send them back home or to Ontario, he offered. Presumably, the language requirements there wouldn't be as stringent, and the policies of integration are preferred to those of assimilation. Pigmentation politics aside. No matter, if federal immigration policies were not confused enough, This new technique of entry into the country as a francophone and then removal subsequently to an anglophone environment would surely muddy the waters further. The point in all of this is that during the course of the last 3 months, 3 of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's political provincial allies have gone to an election and lost. The federal Liberal government party may have to begin taking stock of the identifiers associated with the people in the West Island of Montreal to ascertain what keeps them loyal to Canada, and by extension to the Liberal Party. The Conservatives under Andrew Scheer have started recruiting quality candidates from the area, including 2 so far from the Italian community. Joe Volpe, on behalf of Corriere Canadese, Go Live TV, and Corriere Media Group, urging you to follow us online at Corriere.ca, Corriere.com, or on all social media. Thank you. Stay tuned for comments in Italian and Portuguese.